with the echo. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. We're here.
Welcome to the show that no one asked for, not even a single person.
Not even my mom.
Not even Jamie's mom. That's how few people asked for this show.
Literally no one. But here we are, and we keep doing it, and you're going to like it. I'm just kidding. I don't know where that came from. Say hi. Let us know you're here. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
And on that note, Jamie, I'm going to give you a transition before I.
It's the show that nobody asked for, the only reason that we shower. If these ovaries could talk is live right now.
Oh, see, Jamie, I didn't do anything mean at all.
You didn't. It's so funny now because now I know your face. You have like a face when you're going to do it. Even when you're trying to be secretive, there's like something that comes over your face. So now I know I'm getting to know the look.
Mischievous. I'm going to try to do this to Jamie.
I'm getting to know your look. Oh my goodness, the day we had.
Okay, so we just to fill everyone in, we were recording an episode. We were recording the season finale for season 7, which it's a
big one.
It's a big one. We should let everyone know that we are dark on the podcast and this live stream for the entire month of August. So we were recording the last episode for the podcast. It was a 2-hour interview that was very, very intense.
Very intense conversation, which needed to happen. It needed to happen. I'm glad we had this very intense conversation, but was not expecting that. Not at all.
No, and I did a pre-call. I should have been, but I was not. She was delightful, and it's going to be such a wonderful, wonderful episode. But Jamie had scheduled a 2:15 doctor's appointment, and we were still talking.
I missed, but then I called them right after. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I missed my appointment." They said, "Come right now. It's in my building. It's literally in my lobby." So I ran downstairs. I'm so used to going to the doctor and them telling me, "Oh, just wait it out. Sit on it. It'll go away." He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a cortisone shot, and we're gonna do this." And I was like, "Wait, okay, we're doing it."
God, they love to give you the cortisone shots.
I've never had one,
though, Jamie. I don't think it's good for you. You want to make sure you don't do too many of those.
I've never had one. Have you had one?
I'm not a doctor, but do some research.
Have you had one?
Oh my God. Yes, for like a not plantar fasciitis, but like a tendonitis sort of thing in my leg.
I mean, okay, there it is. He's like,
I question if anyone needed to see your foot.
Listen, it is all wrapped up. And then he gave me this thing I have to sleep in now. I don't even know what just happened to me, but I'm really hoping it gets better because I need to be able to run again. So that's the whole point of this. Anyway, what a whirlwind this has been. I was going to try to put some makeup on. There's no time. There's no time.
And then after this, we have a 7 o'clock Instagram thing, and I have a dinner at someone's house, and I'm going to break out of the dinner, go into their bedroom to do our 7 o'clock Instagram thing.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Jamie,
what?
Mary and I called up Mary and I said, and I call her Janice. That's her work name. I'm Barbara and she's Janice. So I said, Janice, I said, it's Saturday and I was thinking we've got that business project that we work on. Can we do a working dinner? And she was like, Barbara, is this a date? And I said, no, Janice, it's a working dinner.
Oh my God. This is hilarious.
We do this for hours and the kids are always like,
we're like weird. Flirting.
The kids
are like office flirting. What's wrong? You're so weird.
Was just staring at me while I was like, and Mary just kept going, this sounds like a date, Barb. And I was like, no, it's not. I'm telling you, it's a working dinner. But anyway, the whole point of this.
So weird.
You're weird. The whole point of this is we were able to go out to dinner without a babysitter.
That's crazy.
Next level. 2 kids stayed at home.
Shit.
And I also discovered, because I tried to call them and they didn't pick up, but I also discovered that what I can do is use Alexa to drop in on them whenever I want to and just be like, what are you doing? Isn't that great?
What, Alexa says that? What are you doing? Like that?
No, it just comes on and it just all of a sudden turns on and I can yell out and they can hear me from wherever they are.
They hear you through Alexa?
It's called the drop-in feature. It's like you have the app on your phone and then you use the Alexa. It's almost like a walkie-talkie. And so you click drop into your Alexa and then there's like there's a bing bong and then I can talk. It's like I can talk like I were on a phone.
I'm sure that was fun for your kids.
Yeah, they were like, shut this down.
My kids
right.
just yell at Alexa.
We have a full show today, but we did have one other topic we're going to talk about before we bring our guest in, because we have a great guest today.
OMG, this show. Have you guys say hi? Mom, are you here? Where are you? It's so strange.
Where's your mother, for God's sake?
I don't know. Did she get held up with something?
Even your mom's sick of us. She's like, you guys could use a hiatus.
Mayor of Easttown, this show. Have you guys seen this show? It is crazy. Listen, it's not my kind of show. It's Anne's kind of show.
How can it not be your kind of show? It is
top
one of
show.
the greatest shows on television.
No. I beg to differ.
What's not a good show? What's not your type of show?
It's just a cop show. Like it's just a cop. We have an echo happening. It's just a silly cop. I mean, it's not silly. So here's what happened. They had to this dang show had to pull on every single heartstring imaginable. I mean, it went everywhere. It was too much. It was just too much. I watched it for Anne. I had to give her a show that she likes. We watched it for Anne. I got into it, but we binged the last 3 episodes in one night. And I just want to say, hi, Mom. I just want to say it triggered something awful in me. That show triggered something serious inside of
there's
Jamie.
Well-written content.
No, something happened. I started crying about 10 minutes towards the end of the final episode. I was a sobbing mess for like 2 hours. We're trying to go to bed and I'm like sobbing in the bed. And I don't like to, I like to cry in private. Like it's just the way I am. I don't want to sob
even in front of your wife. You won't
not
cry
even in front. No, I don't want to sob in front of anyone. So I'm like in the bed, like I have to go blow my nose. Like it's so bad. I was an awful that show. What
so good.
I'm angry with the show. I'm just angry at that show. I don't even. If anybody watched that show, you let me. Mom, don't watch the show. You're not gonna like it. You don't want to watch the show.
What's to be angry about? Like, listen, it wasn't an intense.
It triggered something
drama and
terrible inside of me. Oh my God!
Of the finest acting, writing, like
I will say this. I do appreciate that they had a relationship in there that was a gay relationship, but they never made any mention of it. They never made any kind of big deal about it. It was just her daughter dated girls and she had some girl drama. And it was just, it was handled as if it was just normal.
And I love
relationship.
There didn't have to be some coming out. There didn't have to be mother-daughter. Like the mother-daughter drama had nothing to do with her being gay. And I was like, yes.
So I'll give it that. But they literally covered every single thing you could possibly cover that's tragic in a single lifetime in one show. And it was too much. It triggered me. I don't know if I will watch season 2, and I might.
I don't know if there will be a season 2.
It was a lot.
I think that was a...
And I do have to say, accent threw me a lot. Like, it was a little too much.
No, that's the accent. Have you never been there?
I have been there, but it was a little too much. Oh, no. Go get the phone. Get the phone. It was too much.
Mayor of Easttown, Sue.
Oh my God.
You should watch it. It's amazing television. All right, let's get off this because Jamie's wrong.
I was triggered. I was sobbing. Like I had to go in the bathroom. I go in the bathroom to cry.
Wait, I just have to make this one point before we bring Jen in. Do you or do you not think that is what makes great content? Now, if you had said, let me finish.
I'm an actress too, lady.
Take it easy. Let me finish.
Slow your roll.
After I had my first kid and like I was exhausted and whatever, I didn't want to watch dark things because it was like life was dark. And I understand that if you were making that point, then I would be with you. But to say it wasn't good, it was phenomenal content.
I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm saying that stupid show.
This is not NYPD Blue.
I'm saying that stupid show triggered something fierce inside of me that I didn't necessarily need to experience. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to trigger every single deep place in my heart. Like you don't have to go. It's too much. It's
Maybe
too much.
you needed to process some
Maybe
of
I
this.
didn't need to
Jamie.
process that. Maybe
you
I didn't.
process. Let's
And then
talk
I was like, I thought I worked, and I'm like crying in the bathroom, and I'm like thinking in my head, I thought I worked through this. I thought I worked through this. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need that in my life.
You know what, Jamie? You didn't. And that was the universe telling you. That was Kate Winslet telling you your shit's not in order.
Your shit's not in order. That's
not
what.
in order.
But now my mom's gonna be like, what was
your shit's not in order down at the Wooder?
No, my mom. What haven't you worked through? This is the next conversation I'm gonna have. Well, what?
And by the way, I can't wait for that call.
No, it's
all right,
not.
let's talk about our guest. Okay.
It's
a very exciting guest today.
This is exciting on many levels for me because this is somebody I know personally, just like she's an acquaintance because she's a mom. She's another gay mom in my second grade class. The other gay mom couple is here talking to us. It's very exciting.
And she does.
Here she is.
Jen.
Hello.
Hi, Jen.
Thanks for inviting me. Jamie, I have to agree with Robin. I think you're wrong on Mare of Easttown.
Yeah, but I feel like you like these kinds of shows too. Like, I feel like you're a cop show person. No?
Drama.
Not a cop show.
I don't know. I've never described myself as a cop show person, but maybe. But it's good. I have some issues with some of the way it was all woven together. But
right,
I mean, we watched it in like 3 nights.
It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I know you, Mom. You can't watch that show. It's just too much. I'll tell you that much. But it was a good show. I agree. It was a good show. It was well done. It was well acted.
All right, Jamie.
A lot.
4 deep breaths. It'll be 3 Hail Marys. We're going to move on to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. Jen works for a media company, and she started a conversation with Jamie because she works in. Why don't I let you tell it?
I know, Jen. You tell us who you are because you could say it so much better.
Sure. I work for a big company. I've been doing this for 10 years. I work in diversity, and what I actually do, and Jamie, I don't think you know this. I'm a numbers person. I've always been a numbers person. I was in finance. I was in the company in a corporate strategy role. And so I take that perspective and I apply it to diversity. And what I do is measure ourselves. How are we doing? And I use the numbers to help us figure out where do we need to be focusing on? What should we be? What else should we be doing? And for a media company, it's interesting, right? Because we have the same workforce issues and expectations that the rest of corporate America has, and then we have the extra layer of talent. How diverse are we on air and behind the camera? We have a responsibility to know how we're doing and to work to move all of ourselves into a better space on that.
Oh, I wonder what our show's number is. I don't want to know. Don't tell us, Jen. Don't find out our number.
Well, there's all kinds of diversity. It's hard to
exactly. But that's why you're here.
Census on all of them, but when you have a universe of properties, you want to get there in a meaningful way, right?
Right, so exactly.
What does a day look like for you? Like, what are you? When you say talent, you're talking about hiring pool and making sure you have a diverse talent pool, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think workforce diversity is one of the biggest buckets that folks in working in diversity focus on, right? And that matters across race and ethnicity, across gender, and across the LGBTQ community, people with disabilities, people with military, veterans, military experience,
age.
But and I mentioned this yesterday. So the E and DEI was really adopted in the last year, and it's an important adoption because it's equity, right? So we work to make sure that our work space is inclusive. And the E for equity is so important because you want to make sure that there's equitable opportunities for people, right? You want to make sure that your practices are equitable. And what we're all experiencing right now is this reckoning of and understanding that we really have to think through all these processes and norms that we've all been using for so many years just because that's how it's been in place. There's a lot of biases and issues that are built into those standards, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And with the increased visibility of diversity and the attention to it, with that is coming this notion of, okay, yeah, things have to change and everything has to change to help us get to a more equitable and inclusive space.
Yes, and you've been involved with this since before it really took off. I mean, it's really taken off in the past year because of all of the events that have led us to this place that we need to be at. But you've been involved with this before it was hip.
Yeah, I have been. It's been 10 years for me, and I work at a company that's had a chief diversity officer for longer than that. We're coming on 15 years, I think. And there's some research in the space, and it's just the obvious of what you'd expect. Companies and, there's kind of charts that in recent years, it's through the roof, the amount of chief diversity officers that have been hired by companies across the country, which is all great. And what comes with that is, a need to make sure that they're getting the support and the resources that they need to affect change. But it is a hot topic these days, that's for sure.
It sure is.
And we're all working on it. Nobody's doing it great. I want to give that disclaimer. We're not perfect.
That's what I was just going to say.
And that's why we're here.
Like in our call yesterday, we talked a little bit about like our community, like the LGBTQ community. Sometimes it's difficult to win because it can feel like someone's always mad at you. Like you left someone out, or you said something that you thought was protective of one group of people, but it's a large umbrella of people. So like, how do you feel in that position? Like, do you feel like you're knocking it out of the park, or do you feel like every 5 seconds someone's knocking at your door telling you the thing you missed?
I feel like it's twofold. I feel like the work that we're doing is yielding results. We're improving. We have things that we're really proud of, and it's hard to please everybody, but we're working to, right? I mean, diversity, it just doesn't sum up so easily. You really have to be thoughtful about each community that you're trying to represent, and talking, and also, by the way, the language of vernacular is changing. It changes all the time
every 5 seconds
for all of the communities, right?
Yes.
You can talk about the debate between Hispanic or Latino. People of color, it's definitely not good enough to just talk about people of color as a group, because there are communities within that. And then of course, the LGBTQ community, right? We are a mishmash of people, and
there are so many communities in just our little community, and it's not a little community. There's so many.
I mean, do you want to start a debate of, is it LGBTQ? We're doing the IA plus.
No, I do not want to start. I do not want to start a debate about that. I can't.
But it's because the language is always changing, and things are constantly evolving, which they should and they have to, because this is life. That's life.
Progress.
It's progress, right? Yep. But so the reason you're here, one of the reasons is because after we were having a show with Dylan, if you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, Dylan Mulvaney, who non-binary, wonderful human being. We had so much fun with Dylan, and we were talking about pronouns with Dylan. And Jen reached out to me and said, this whole pronouns debate is a really interesting debate, because there are so many sensitivities that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about pronouns. And before I mess up the rest of it, I'm just gonna go ahead.
I want to say one more thing about the backstory too, is we didn't even know there was a debate within our side of the community. Right. Like, we knew there was a debate on the other side, which is like, with the pronouns, why do we need to do the pronouns? And so we were like, Dylan's doing this service. Dylan, like they do this thing on their Instagram where they do they word of the day, and they break things down. And so we were like, we're informing. And so to hear from you that there was another side to the thing, we were like, we got to talk about this.
Which we didn't know. Because I was like, oh my God, I have to do I have to make sure I sell my pronouns to everyone, and we have to be really open about this, and we have to tell our children, which I still think that there is a place for that.
Well, wait. Yeah. I just wanted to finish that one thought that I was saying, but sorry. I just want to say that we want to be really clear in this conversation that we are about providing a space for people to have the whole dialogue. And we're presenting it, and then we're going to try to do what we think is right, and everybody's got to do what they think is right. That's all I wanted to finish. But
judgment. Yeah. Judgment.
Being sensitive to all aspects of humanity, and you do what feels right for you. Right. So without further ado, let's talk about it.
But one more disclaimer while we're doing disclaimers. I am not transgender nor non-binary, so I can't speak from that perspective. But I did some work in this space, and I talked to some people. I got some different perspectives. And I talked to GLAD and PFLAG and other leaders in the space, right? So I did my homework, but what happened was when you guys were talking about it, I was able to see that show, and then I was texting Jamie on the side and saying, I just did some work on this, and I, you know.
And of course, I was like, come on, can you come on the show, please, and talk about it, please? Can you please come on the show? And she was like, I don't know. I was like, so are you ready to come on the show yet? So what do you think? You want to come on the show? That's kind of how this goes.
Because if we need to be educated, everybody does. You know what I mean? Like, because we're part of this community. So that's always our viewpoint. So what is the other side to the conversation? I mean, I don't want to say other side, but expanding the conversation.
Let's say there are three sides. So the one side is the side that you already called out, right? Non-binary people who are out and open about their pronouns. And as we know, language is important, and we live in a world where language is gendered, and they, more so than other people potentially who have non-visible diversity, they have to out themselves because that's how we communicate in this gendered language, whether we like it or not, right? So for non-binary out people, it's important to provide a safe space to show them that we're allies, that we're inclusive, and that when they're comfortable sharing their pronouns, we love it because we want to be able to address them the way that they want to be addressed.
Exactly, right.
So the other two perspectives that you have to be aware of are non-binary people who are not yet out and transgender people who have transitioned and work hard to present in a way that is in line with our societal norms of the gender binary that is the binary gender that is their gender identity, right? So for the non-binary people who are not out, we can all relate to that, right? Everybody who's in the LGBT community has gone through that journey and has decided when they're comfortable outing themselves and talking about their identity. And what you know is that when you're not ready, sometimes that pressure can just be massive and really set you
I know
off.
Robin knows that really well. I've heard that story many times about not being ready to be outed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Robin's got a full story on that one.
It's a whole story. I was not ready.
You were not ready.
I was not ready, and I yelled at all my friends.
Even though all her friends knew it,
my friend's gay.
Carried that.
That's great. I like, good for her. I was like, I was not ready.
We've all been there.
Ready. Yeah, right, exactly.
Having flashbacks of early 20s.
Yeah. Those were good times.
It's so hard. I was just bisexual for a really long time.
There you go.
If I could have gotten some dates with men, I probably would have been too. But let's just move on from that. All right, Jen.
But we know with our community, nobody should be outed, right? You don't want to.
Exactly. It's their prerogative. It's you do you.
So that's why the introductions that automatically include pronouns can be problematic because to use the example that was shared with me and is people can relate to, if you're going around the table and everybody's using pronouns, that could create a lot of pressure for someone who's not there yet, or maybe is starting to signal and explore that they're there, but
So can I ask a question? Does that mean that it would force them to say something they didn't want to say? Like, let's say they present as she, her, but they're feeling non-binary, but they're not ready to say non-binary, but they would have to say she, her, and that would make them feel shame? Is that when they want to say non-binary, but they're not there yet? Is that the...
Well, they'd have to say something, and I'm sure it would just stir up stuff. If before you were out, if someone came up to you and said, "Are you a lesbian?" Right? You could still say no, but I'm sure it stirred up something.
Yeah, stirs up all. I remember one time I was like 19. I went to Pride in San Francisco. I'm dancing with my friends, and this woman came up to me and was like, "Are you here for Pride?" She was dancing with me, and I freaked out. I was like, no, I'm not here for, yes, I am, but no.
I'm here for the dancing. I'm here for the dancing.
I think that's literally what I ended up saying, but like, I totally understand what you're saying. And if you're somebody who has been kind of toying with your gender, toying is not the right way to say it, exploring your gender, figuring things out for yourself, and maybe some things are kind of showing on the outside at this point because you've kind of done some, you're trying to find your true essence, who you really are, and then you're in a work group, and I'm thinking about literally a work group I was in where they went around and shared pronouns. No big deal for me to share my pronouns because I'm not playing with it. But like I had a coworker who maybe was, and I think that this coworker was not ready for that. Like I totally understand what you're saying.
And you hit on something that's really important there. It's no big deal for you because, and everybody's trying to be an ally, and we're all struggling with this, right? How can we appropriately provide an inclusive space for people? But you are a cisgender woman who presents as a cisgender woman. It is no risk for you to share your pronouns.
Right, exactly. And also the person who has been exploring their gender probably knows that everybody in this room has noticed that they are not presenting as cisgendered as the rest of them, right? So then they are feeling that in that moment, they're just feeling completely othered. I say it keeps this othered thing comes up a lot for me because I don't want to feel othered ever. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree. But can we go back to your example? Because you were at Pride, right? And you still felt uncomfortable, why
were you at Pride, Jamie? FYI, BT dubs.
It's San Francisco. Everybody's at Pride. I don't know.
I mean, insert jokes there, but that's a perfect example because you were exploring your sexual identity.
Yes.
And I'm sure that was a helpful catalyst for you, but you still weren't ready. You were ready enough to be there, but you weren't ready to talk about it.
No, I mean, I was with my high school friends. They couldn't know that I was there because of that. Like the stuff that happens inside of you is ridiculous because, of course, they wouldn't have cared either. But
I have to say, I didn't think about this side to the conversation because all I was thinking about was like, oh, we're being told that to be good allies, this is the right thing to do. So that's a good just reminder
to be sensitive to what everybody in the room might be going through, and it makes it. The thing is, it just makes it that much more difficult. And nothing in our community is ever straightforward. Get it? Straightforward. No, it's always somewhat difficult because it's constantly expanding, evolving, improving. But it makes it hard to make sure that you are taking everyone in the room into account, everyone in the community into account. And so this conversation is important.
It comes back to judgment, right?
Right.
Especially for people who don't have visible disabilities, most of us don't go straight up to them and like hit it on the head, right? You feel it out, you establish a rapport, and you let them know that it's okay for them to share anything they want with you.
Right. It's like, I'm sorry, one more thing. It's like if you go up to somebody who is missing a leg and you go up to them and you say, this is this is way out left field, but like, and you go up to me and you say, hi, I'm Jamie. I'm missing the tip of my pinky.
Legs.
And you? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's none of my business anyway. And I'm putting you on the spot and you might not want to talk about your
Well, what's the third group of people? You mentioned two groups.
The third group are people who are transgender and present in a binary gender way, right? So someone who has long hair and is wearing makeup and is wearing a dress, and you go up to them and say, hi, I'm Jen, she, her, hers. What are your pronouns? That's another sensitive subject, and that can be very insulting for someone who has worked long and hard to present with their gender identity that is, in line with social norms.
Yes, that can be triggering.
And I'm sure they're just all they're hearing is, oh, I don't look like a woman. You're telling me I don't look like a woman.
What is the answer then? Because there is this big movement afoot, or at least it appears to me that there's a movement for everyone to be doing pronouns. You're seeing it more in Zoom calls. You're seeing it more with straight allies or cisgendered allies. Like, so what is the answer to then? Like, should we not be doing that?
Jen, fix it for us. What do we do?
I know, Jen.
What do we do, Jen?
No pressure, but if you could fix the world also, we need a cure for cancer when you're done with this. Go. Let's start with this one first.
Maybe we start by fighting the over 100 bills that were introduced in the 35 states that are anti-trans, right? I mean, we start by changing the norms. And I think that just the visibility of non-binary people, the increased visibility is helping. People are starting to understand that we don't live in a binary gender world anymore. And we have to be open-minded about it. But other than that, there are no hard rules. It's a matter of creating safe spaces and making people feel comfortable to out their pronouns. It's an individual journey. People have to share their pronouns with you. No one else can really do it for them. And as you know, you could check in with people privately as you feel comfortable, right? You could make announcements that if anybody wants to share their pronouns, that's great, right? I mean, you just have to play it by ear to see what feels right in the moment.
But maybe not requiring people to share, or just like letting it be more organic.
Never require, never pressure, but making it available. So, for instance, in our company directory now, people can publish their pronouns. So we made it a feature, but we had to hit the communications about it correctly because we didn't want everyone to feel that, we didn't want employees to feel that everyone should be doing it. And then we get into that pressured situation, right?
Yeah.
It's just there if you want to use it.
There can also be pressure. I don't know. Maybe I'll say this wrong. I hope I don't. But I feel like there can also be pressure on the other side. Like I don't want to misgender someone. So it's like trying to figure out when to act. I think what I have tried to do as of late, because it's like when we were dropping the kids off at Camp Highlight, one of the years I misgendered one of the counselors, and he corrected me, and I said, "Oh, thank you. I'm sorry." And then I kept the conversation moving. Now, I did have this horrible feeling in my soul because I felt like maybe I made him feel bad. But what I didn't do was take my bad feelings and then make it into a thing. Oh,
yeah, you didn't make it about you.
No, right. I just said sorry. And then I just said, Henry's very excited. We can't wait. And then moved on. But it's like, I feel like that's all I can do. But it does feel dicey on this side of it.
I think I'm usually geekier about it, and this goes with the entire community where I'm like, "Oh, cool, excellent," I'm a member of the community also.
Oh, yay, we're all gay!
I'm gay, and then you just say too much, and it's like, oh.
I literally did that with another 2-mom couple that was going to the Y with my son's class. She dropped that her wife was at home, and I literally was like, "My wife is at home too."
She was like, "Good for you." She's like, "I've got a wife at home as well."
So bad. But like, you just want to
can we fix this on a broader scale? What do we need?
I do wish there was less eggshells. I wish that there was more compassion in our community, but in the world for mistakes. I wish there was a little more like toward intention as well as impact, as long as you're cleaning it up. I wish that there was I feel like we're getting, and it's not just our community, it's a lot of communities. It's also age, it's like, it feels like there is no space for mistakes any longer. And I worry about that. I mean, I don't know if that makes me sound like a 75-year-old man who's yelling, "Get off my lawn." But I worry though, because I feel like we are getting into a place of lack of, people make mistakes. It's, clean, as long as you clean it up and when you work to be educated, I feel like that should be part of the conversation. I don't know.
I think I worry less about it. I think that those mistakes can be cleaned up with a smile and, the good intentions, and people can read pretty clearly where there are bad intentions and good intentions.
Yeah, people can also read pretty clearly if you're a person who's open to the correction, or if you're somebody who's fighting against
These are valid points. These are valid
points. And I think that we all, I have to believe that everybody has compassion in their heart towards their fellow human beings, and they don't want to have to yell at their fellow human beings for really screwing up, but sometimes they have to.
I think I'm spending too much time on Twitter, and I think that's the bottom of what we just got to, because that is a cesspool of not forgetting
what that's a whole nother landmine, all the trolls. But I also want to take it too, because I teach children, and I did say this when we were talking with Dylan, about how I feel like it would be a good thing with the children I teach. I teach first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, to at the beginning of class just open up with my genders, just because I want that any child in there who might be struggling internally with gender to see an openness to gender modeled in the peers around them, especially if they might not have it at home. However, now that I've talked to you, Jen, and you've said all these different aspects of this. Like, I'm not sure. So I want to know what your thoughts are on that, because I just want the kids to feel safe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. I think that we can go above and beyond for the kids, as we all do in every aspect of our lives, right? Let's do it here as well. We, especially for these more difficult topics, there is a difference between how we treat adults and how we treat children. We want to make sure that children feel even more of a safe space, because they may misread it, or they may not pick up on the first cue, and you go back again. Right. Other than having small kids, I don't work in that area, so I don't have hands-on experience with it. But I think, again, with judgment and compassion, you can get there, and checking in, and maybe it's checking in privately and at times when it feels right in an open forum, right?
Right. But at the same time, you don't want to like single out a child that you see might be exploring their gender and pull them aside and be like, hey, I just wanted to know, do you want to be a he or a she? Like, you don't want to do that too. Like, cause that's
what Amy's saying right here is what I was thinking as well. Read that, Jamie. Cause I think that's
she says, I'm going to share my pronouns and you can, if you want to, which is how I would do it. But I wonder if that now I'm like, I don't know which way to go with this.
I feel like if I was a kid, that would make me feel nice to hear someone model it. And just like that to me would be the equivalent of if my gym teacher had said, no, I'm a lesbian. You don't need to be scared about that. Like I would have been like, she is a lesbian. I knew it. But
they exist.
Yours too?
Yeah. We were friends. Go figure.
My gym teachers, I don't know.
But it's like that would have been nice to know.
Yeah. You also have to keep in mind that kids that young especially may not be thinking about pronouns, right? And they probably to that in a big way.
Right.
I also think, just given my kids, like my daughter has come home and has met 2 or 3 trans kids, like a couple of people exploring pronouns, and another one of her friends is like a lesbian. She's in 6th grade, and they don't have, at least from what I'm witnessing, and even my son, who is not, I would say, not as comfortable with the whole LGBTQ thing as say my daughter is, like he'll be like,
but you say that with total a lot of grain of salt, because he is super like he
doesn't want to be different in any way.
He is super. He's all knowledgeable about the LGBT.
Yeah, but at the same time, he'll walk by and he'll be like, "Oh, was he trans?" And he'll be like, "Oh, cool." And then he just continues his conversation. For them, it is this gender thing, that the idea of using they them. It is not hard for them to grasp. I mean, I think sometimes the use of they them is harder for me, because it's like I've been not doing that for 50 years. And now it's like, oh, okay. It's just like a clunky brain that I got to turn to the right. And I'm doing that.
That's exactly how I think of you too. Just like a clunky brain.
Turn it
to the right.
But like, I feel like the kids don't have the baggage we have.
They don't until they do.
Right. But then Jen, I think about our little school and all the little kids. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like they're already showing these heteronormative, on the playground, I'm just baffled by these little romance that are budding up between 2nd graders and like the crushes that are happening. It's really insane to me, and it scares me, because I don't want, because I'm a gay mom, and I want my kids to see that mirrored back at them more than the heteronormative.
But Jamie, there's straight couples in the world, and they are the predominant couples in the world.
But I want my daughter to be like, yeah, but you don't have to be with a boy. Like, that's what I want her to be like. And she's probably not going to be that kid, but that's what I want.
So I'll give you an example. Like, this one's funny, and surprising, right? And I told you part of this, but not everything, all of it. But my daughter, who's 5, she cut her hair when she was 3 years old. She's got short hair. She presents as a boy. She likes to wear athletic clothing, and she even swims in swim trunks rather than a one piece.
This is called my childhood right here, by the by.
She is her own personality, and we love it. We love every bit of her. And so when she is around other people, even people that she knows, it is very hard for kids to assume that she's a girl, or to talk to her as a girl. Even kids that she knows and has been in daycare with for years and has been in school with, they can't. And we tell them, and it's a very open environment. And these poor little kids, they can't wrap their brain around it because it's been driven into them so much. Boys look like this and girls look like that.
Things are so gendered.
And that is wearing on my daughter over time. And now she wants to grow her hair long, which I think stinks because we love her short hair. This is her personality.
She's so cool the way she is. That's her.
Yeah. So we try to show her examples, right? We want to watch the Pink documentary, and we show her videos, and we try to make sure that it's visible for her, and then we'll just take her cues and not push it too much.
Yeah. P.S. After watching that Pink documentary, I was going to cut my hair like Pink. All of a sudden, Pink was my favorite person in the whole world for like a week. Like it was problematic.
Why wasn't she already? She's the best.
She's great. I love her, but I love that documentary. I love that she just showed herself, and I love that she's like fit, but she's also not skinny fit. She's like tough fit, which is everything I love. And she's like tough, bad. Anyway, we're not talking about Pink.
Jamie. Okay, Jamie. You can write your letter to Pink after the show. But for now, we're going to continue talking to Jen.
Cut my hair like Pink. Anyway, back to the kids, and so it's nuanced. It's nuanced. It's hard. And we want them to be happy, and we want them to be well adjusted, but we also want them to like be totally LGBTQ friendly and understand the whole community and like stand up for our community too. Like, so it's and
just like everything else, we're not always going to get it right. And our kids, just like they might hit somebody one day at school, and you got to deal with that. Like they may not get this right, and you're always course correcting.
Yeah,
always.
God, parenting is hard.
Exhausting.
Let's talk about Pink some more.
Nobody actually told us how hard it was going to be.
And then you over-explain everything, and they're not listening to you anyway.
No. You can see their eyes disassociate and look up. They're not paying attention.
They're gone.
All right, Jen, before we lose you or leave you, or you leave us, I mean, I've said that all really
I also want to bring up one more thing.
Well,
no,
I'm
never breaking up with you.
One more like insight or jewel or thought about like, it could be about diversity and inclusion. What more takeaway do you have for our team, for our people?
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
I know you're putting me on the spot.
Mean, come on.
See, I like
you don't have to have anything. You can be like, I already said it.
Well, you plan that, or you have it.
Well, I would just reiterate, right? Let's just sum it back up. And apologies to everyone that we don't have hard and fast rules and instructions for how to navigate this, but it's tough. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and learn from that, and then you'll do it better the next time. But as far as pronouns go, there just should never be pressure. You got to feel it out and do what you think feels right in the moment. But the bottom line is it's not about us. It's about showing other people that this is a safe space, and when they're ready to tell you, you're open ears.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's about the other person. And Danielle has something to say too about the director of our son's preschool wouldn't let the teacher read My Princess Boy when we asked her to. We wanted them to be a little more prepared for when my son wore his dress to school. She didn't want to present that idea to the other kids and swore that kids at that age were all so accepting that it wasn't even necessary. Yeah. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. See, it's stuff like that pisses me off.
I know. I feel like we're lucky to be in New York in school systems that are generally. I mean,
listen. I'll say our school doesn't have any LGBTQ books in that library. I keep saying I'm going to bring them in for them, but I don't. And I've told Jen and Joe, her wife, many times. I'm just going to put some books together. I'm going to bring it. I still haven't done that. But that's my plan.
In hopes that you'll do it, Jen. I don't know if you're missing the cue.
I got that hint. Yeah. Okay.
No, but I also want to say. Like there's us, the two mom families, and then there's 2 dad family in our 2nd grade class. The 2 dad family is moving away, so we're losing them, which hurts my heart a little bit. And what hurts my heart also is that it's how many years have we been at this school now? 2nd grade plus 1, 2, 3, 4 years with pre-K. Never been in the same class, which hurts my heart a little bit. And we haven't been able to get our daughters to really bond yet.
Well, we just need more time together.
We just
blame it on the pandemic.
We need to get them really real close so that we can be like a gay mom front.
Jamie, we cannot pressure our guest to be your friend while on the live stream.
We're coming to their house. We're going to watch soccer together. It's happening.
2 things for you to do after the live stream, Jamie. One is to write Pink, and then 2 is to go after Jen.
No, but I also want to say my mom has a way to get rid of this altogether. She says just abandon he, him, she, him altogether and start using they. There you go. There you go.
That's what my kids do a lot. I hear them do that, which I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming and just for one being a game for the conversation and for just presenting like something we hadn't thought of. And I just think it's just the more we can have these conversations, the better we can all be. I just think it's wonderful that you spent the time to chat with us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. And as you get feedback on this, let me know because we could all learn together.
Yeah, we can. We will. We'll let you know. And I'm just hoping it's all positive feedback. That's what I'm going to throw out to all you out there. Just positive feedback, please. Because my heart can't take it.
Even if it's not, just say it nicely. Thank you so much, Jen. Thanks for coming.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. That was delightful.
She's awesome, right? They're like actually the cool 2-mom family in our class, and me and Anne are like the on the side. I don't know. Like I feel like they're the cool ones. They're like best friends with everyone, and I like sidle up. Hey guys, I'm the other 2 gay mom.
And they're like, and everybody's
not
like,
as cool.
Anyway, so what we were talking about.
This short girl who just walked in.
All right, Jamie, because we still have an event at 7, we're going to wrap this up because we can only talk. Jamie and I have a quota of time that we could talk to one another per day, and we're about to go over it.
I didn't know that, actually. I think it's just you. But okay, I'm just kidding.
If you have not had a chance to rate and review our book, If These Ovaries Could Talk, the things we've learned about making an
LGBTQ family,
please do that on Amazon or Goodreads. We would appreciate it. It helps us get the book out more, and especially during Pride. You can also rate and review it on Audible,
and
you can get the audiobook.
Also give that book to everybody you know for Pride.
Yes! What a nice
all your
Pride.
Allies. You've been asking me about being an ally. Well, here's a book. It's so easy.
How did we make our families? Get this book.
Here it is.
Oh, you wondered how we made our family? There. If these others could talk the things we've learned about making an LGBTQ family.
It's perfect.
All right, Jamie.
A little nice package for you. Right. Okay. We have talked your ears off enough. Thank you so much, Jen, for coming on, and thank you all for being with us. I don't know why I just got so formal. I don't know what just happened.
You did get really formal. All right.
I was about to say I Rachel mad out it, but I didn't. I wasn't that.
Then you would have been just blinking.
Oh, never noticed that. Never noticed. She does
wide
blink
eyes,
a
but
lot.
she blinks a lot.
She does blink a lot. Should we blink a lot when we talk? Because we interviewed somebody else who blinks a lot, who is a reporter. How interesting.
She was also a big blinker.
Is that a thing? I should be blinking. I should be blinking.
Starting another conversation. Eggs.
Ovaries. I'm blinking.
Out.
Out.